Hi everybody and welcome to the channel. I am Richard. Today we are going back out in the bloody and muddy battlefield to fight our enemies and take over star locations and becoming a warlord of the greatest of them all. I'm going to show you Kingdoms Rise and Fall Dorian. This is a 3 to 6 player game. It's around 1 hour or 8 hours of gameplay, depending on how long you want to play. It's from 14 years above, and this is made by Garlock Games. This is a Kickstarter coming out now 2022, and you will find all the links you need down in the description. This is a deck building game where you upgrade your characters and send out your troops to take over the land to make you the greatest of them all. I'm going to show you the setup of this game. I'm going to give you an overview of the gameplay and go through some of the rules. So let's just have a look at this. Welcome to the Kingdom of Dorian. Beautiful, isn't it? Large, huge, green forest, high mountains. But sadly, the king have just died. Now, he had some supervisors trying to rule the land when he's dead, but they're not doing that great job. This is where you come in, because you will portray as one of these 6 leaders, trying to take over the throne. You will send out your units to try to take over the different star locations, but also to battle other players. You do this to try to get the most amount of influential points. The player that reaches the agreed amount of influential points is instantly the winner. You will get these points by taking over locations, battling players, but also by completing different objectives. During the game, there will also be events that will impact the gameplay in different ways. This is the setup of the game. You start by placing the big board in the middle of the table for everyone to reach. Then we need to place out the stealth, physical, and magic decks on their places on the board. And you can easily see where each deck goes as the color corresponds with the board. We then need to place out and shuffle the defense cards, the treasure cards, and in an advanced game also the objective deck. We need to agree on how long the game should be by putting the crown marker on the influence and point track. We also put our character markers down here at the start area. A general game is between 20 and 25 long. The players then at random takes 3 to 4 kingdom event cards at random. 3 or 4 is for a basic game. If you want a longer, you should take more cards. And then place them in the kingdom events chapters. We then need to take the resource cards, place them on the resource spot, and take the top 3 cards and place them out on the table next to the resource deck. Then you need to place the resources next to the board for easy reach for all players. That was the setup of the main board, and it's quite simple and it goes quite fast, and everything says right on the board where it's supposed to go. So you never have to look at the rule book and go back and forward during setup, as it just explains itself. Have you done this once, you can probably do it the second time with your eyes closed. It's that easy. But we also need to set up our characters. And as you can see, I have put the little figures out here on the map, right? But how do we know where they go? Well, that is stated on the back of your character board. So if we look at this barbarian here, for example, we can see that his start location is Brave Village. And in his starter deck, he should take the 2 top cards from the Strange deck and choose one to add to his starter deck, taking that card and placing it on top of his starter deck. These 2 spots here are your camp upgrades, and this is where you put the cards with the flag on from the upgrade deck. So if you want to upgrade your camp, you simply take this upgrade and put it in your camp. Down here you have 3 different upgrade slots. Also these with symbols on them showing you what kind of upgrade card you can place. Looking like this. Easy for the player to distinguish what you can place where. Down here you have your camp supplies where you can store your resources. Here you can see how many movements your character have. This up here is your character's base powers, and they can be upgraded by adding the corresponding resources needed. This would mean that this character's strength goes from 3 to 5 when this is added. Once the resource is placed, you cannot remove it. Up here is the character's name, and here you can see your character's emblem. The cards that you have played and used goes over here in the restore pile. Down here below your character boards, this is where you store your unequipped upgrade cards for later use, and also your objective cards. These ones should of course not be shown for anyone. Once we have created our deck, we need to shuffle it, and then we need to take the top 5 cards of this deck and place it in our hand. These will be our starting cards. For an advanced game, each player also needs to take the top 3 objective cards, pick 2 of them to have as an objective during their game. For each card that you manage to complete, you will get extra points in the end of the game. Once you have picked 2 cards, you need to put the last one that you did not choose back in the bottom of the deck. Each character also receives character tokens. So we're done with the setup of this game, and it does not take that long time. Everything pretty much just says on the board where it goes, and if you help each other, it might take like 5 minutes or something. So it's a quite fast setup, and you will be starting to play in no time. Once you've done the setup, we go into the actual gameplay. But before we go into the start of the phases, there's some things that we need to do before. We need to determine the turn order of this round. It's quite important to know who goes first, right? What we need to do is to take 1 character token of each player and put them in this neat little bag. Then we need to shake it around real good and draw the tokens from the bag. The one that gets picked first gets to go first, putting them at number 1 at the turn order track, and so on. Oh, look at that, I get to go first. Once we have determined the turn order, it's time for us to see how many resources we have. We will get resources depending on how many stars we hold. For each star location you are holding, there is a star next to that location. You need to see how many stars you have and look at this table here to figure out how many resources you will get. In the beginning, of course, you will only have 1 star resource, but as the game goes on, you will, hopefully, have more and more. Next step is to draw a Kingdom event card. The starting player, me, gets to draw the top event card and read it out loud for every player to hear. Remember, these events will affect every player around the table. Once you have read it out loud, you should place it face up on the event card until it's time to draw a new event card. Last thing we need to do before going into the phases is to refill the 3 mines with their resources. Placing 1 stealth resource at the Dark Essence mine, 1 strange token at the Dragonstone mine, and 1 magic resource at the Magic Crystal mine. We now move into the preparation phase. This is the first phase. The first thing a player should do here is to take the top card from their deck. And now you can do a bunch of things. And you can do this several times if you have the right card. This one here, for example, the Garlock Worker, will let you take any resource from the Garlock City supplies. Me, for example, I want some magic stones, taking 1 from the city supply and putting it in my camp supplies. Once this card is used, it goes to the bottom of the resource deck, and then we need to refill the city supply. The card that I have just used goes down here in my restore pile. If you have any equipped upgrade cards in your camp, you could use them. If you have any upgrades in your inventory, you could choose to rearrange your upgrades. This symbol here is for trade stations, and you could use this to initiate trades. You could choose to buy battle cards as well by paying resources. There are 3 types of different battle cards. You have physical, you have magic, and you have stealth. To buy 1 card, you need to pay 3 of that resources. So for example, to buy 1 stealth card here, you would need to pay 3 stealth token resources. You can also choose to destroy battle cards, giving you 2 resources of that kind back. So for the magic ones you would get 2 magic stones back, for the strange type you would get 2 strange back, and you guessed it, for the stealth you get 2 stealth back. If you're playing the advanced rules, you can also get new objective cards, but you need to give the ones you have on your hand back. Maybe you didn't like this one, right? So you take that one and you put it in the bottom of the objective deck. Then you get to take the top 2 and pick one of them, putting the other one back. But you also need to pay 1 resource to do this. At the end of your turn, you need to remove all of the resources in your resource pool, not your camp supplies. Once we're done with the preparation phase, we move into phase number 2. This is the influence phase. And again, it starts with a player picking up the top card from their hand. And again, going according to the turn order track, the players can do a bunch of actions in any order they would like to do them. And if they can do it multiple times. During the influence phase, you could choose to travel. But then we need to look at our player board first to see how many steps we can actually move our figure. Salazar here have 4 steps, meaning that I could take him and move him 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, traveling around the countryside. And each of these little spots here you see on the map represent 1 step. When playing the advanced rules, you may, once per turn, ask another player if you may move through their location. You can choose to visit one of the mines to get some resources. Man, she must be cold. Again, you could choose to use one of the trade stations. Choose to rearrange your camp's upgrades. This time you can use your character's upgrades. If you have not traveled or been in battle, you can choose to rest and get 3 resources of your choice. But if you use the rest action, you cannot battle or travel during this turn. But you can still do all the rest. And then you can choose to battle and attack a star location. And if you play in advanced mode, you can choose to attack the character as well, starting a field battle. In Kingdoms Rise and Fall, your troops is your battle cards, meaning that these cards will be the troops that you send into battle. And like I said before, there's 2 types of different battles. You can attack the star location itself. This is a siege battle. And then you can attack a character as well. And this is a field battle. In a siege battle, you have more time to prepare. So you can send your troops there even though your leader is far away. But if you are attacking a character in a field battle, your leader needs to be next to the one that you try to attack. And you can also get some allies here in on helping you to do these siege battles, but they might turn against you and betray you, so be careful, don't trust anybody in this game. But how do you actually battle? Do you take the board and slap it in the face of your opponent? No, you shouldn't do that, that's not nice. Let me show you how you do it. First we need to figure out who will participate, and going according to the turn order track, each player will have a chance to decide if they want to join the battle or not. Each player that decides to join the battle will then place out their battle markers on the board. If any player participating in the battle have their character 1 step away from where the battle will be, they get to take their character to join the fight as well. Now each player gets to choose their battle cards that they will use in this battle. They should place these cards face down on the board. And then covering them with their hands, not to let the other player see how many cards they will play. Once every player is ready, we need to turn around our battle tokens to show if we will attack or defense. And then we reveal our cards. Now the battle participants take turns playing their cards. The attacking player will go first, and then the supportive player will come after, ending with the defenders. And we will go after the turn order track to determine the order of the supporting and the defending players. If your character is present at the star location where the battle takes place, well, you may use that character's upgrades and base power in the battle as well. Before we start the battle, let's take a look at our battle card. Here we can see a picture of our warrior. Up here we see the symbol to which character this card belongs to. Here we find the base power. Down here is the base power and card type. Here you find what race and name this character has. In the middle here you have the abilities of this warrior. And down here you have some cool lore telling you a bit about who this is. To know if we have been able to beat these locations, we first need to take a look at what it says. The more stars a star location have, the tougher it is to beat. These are the defenses you need to defeat to capture this location. If a power is not present, you simply ignore that power. In this case you need to beat the stealth and magic, but there are no physical powers here. Next step is to take the top defense card, reveal it, and then we need to add the defense value that we have just revealed on the defense card. These two values here will add on or remove defense value from the star location. We have number 1 that will decrease the value of the stealth by 1, making it go down from 10 to 9. We have the second value also decreasing by 1, making the magic go down from 4 to 3. Once we have resolved the defense value, the defense card we have just used goes back in the bottom of the pile. So who won the battle? Well, it's quite simple to figure out. First, the attacking side needs to add up all of their powers. Then the defense side needs to add up all of their powers and add it to the location. The attacking side needs to have equal to or more power than the defending side to be able to take over the location. The battle cards that you have just used in this battle goes into your restore pile. If you manage to win this battle, you get to claim this location by putting your character marker on the board. The winning side then receives a treasure card, looking like this. We have attacking player up here and other participants over here for 1, 2, or more stars. The winning side also gets to take the top card from their upgrade deck and upgrade their character. If they choose to replace a card, this card goes down to their inventory. Plus, you will get inspiration points, all based on this chart down here. Depending on how many stars the location had, and if you were the active player or supporting player, you will get a different amount of inspiration points. But if you lose, you will lose points instead. Also, if you lost, you will lose 2 resources from your base powers. And also, if you lost, you need to retreat your character from this location, either to wherever you came from or just 1 step in another location. But like I said, you can also choose to attack a character. This is a field battle. The other battle was a siege battle where you attack the location or defend the location. Here, in a field battle, you attack the player. Now this is the advanced rules, so if this is your first game, just skip this and play it like I showed you before without the field battle. But if you want to, throw it in. It's kind of funny. The battle is the same way as you do in a siege battle, but of course you don't get to choose if you are a part of it or not, because if you are attacking, well, you have kind of made your choice. But the player that has been attacked, the defending player, they have 3 choices. They can choose to fight, flee, or use the star location's defense system, if there is any. Other than that, the battle goes out just like it did in the siege battle. You choose your battle cards, you see who got the most power, and whoever is the winner takes home. The player that won the battle will gain 1 inspiration point. And if anybody was taking a part as a supporter, they would also get 1 inspiration point. The loser would lose 1 inspiration point. The losing player would then need to retreat to a location that they own. If they do not own a location, they will need to remove their character from the board and place it out on any location not owned by any other player and without any characters on them at the start of your next turn. That was the influence phase, and once everybody have done everything they want to do or can do during the influence phase, we move into our end of turn. And this is the part where we need to either discard cards from our hands or pick up cards on our hand, so we have a total of 5. Once we have done this, the game goes back again and starts over in new turns, placing out our characters, moving them around, battling, doing whatever we would like to do, and again what we can do, because the cards will determine what you can or cannot do. And this is a deck building game, so as the game goes on, your pile of cards will grow and grow and grow until you have an enormous amount of choices, which makes this game really, really fun because there's so much to do. You have the starting deck in your hand, and then you grow up to become even more powerful and stronger to battle your enemies, and whoever gets the most influential points and reaches the goal at the end of their turn is the winner of the game. I don't think that this game is too hard to learn. It kind of makes sense, and the board helps out a lot with showing everything you can do, and the cards really tells you what kind of options you have. But what about the new players? I mean, I read rules basically every day, but what about somebody that have never played a deck building? Is this easy for them? Well, I still think so. Once they have played 1-2 turns, they will get the hang of it quite fast. And if they keep on forgetting, there's player aids for them. These big sheets here will tell the player what they can or cannot do, and give them a quick and good overview of the gameplay. There are a ton of replayability in this game. You have so many battle cards that you will really never get sick of even playing one character. And here there's 3 different. You can have a mage and be magical, or you can be more of a brute and go in for the strange, or you want to maybe run and hide and be stealth instead. And you will probably not play the same character over and over again, would you? So you would have a bunch of different gameplay just by looking at the battle cards. But then we have all the objectives as well. There's a ton of objectives here. Look at this. You will always have a new objective for you to complete in basically every game, and you can fill up with these during every turn, getting new ones, and if you don't like one, well, try to change it and get another one instead. Same thing with the event cards. I mean, there's this many event cards. There's a bunch of events, and different things will happen during gameplay to gameplay from every game you play, making this really, really replayable. But there's more, because there's also stretch goals in this Kickstarter campaign that will open up even more events for you, objectives for you, but also more battle cards, making this game huge. The artwork in this game has a serious look over it, but it never becomes too dark or too frightened. It always keeps a kind of playful undertone in it. It's really well painted, it's really well made, and on all the cards you have different kinds of lore down here telling you a bit about what is going on with this warrior on this location. The board is quite colorful and beautiful, going into different colors. You have the purple, the red, and the blue locations, making it all really clear what is magic, what is physical powers, and what is stealth. And there's really never a question what you can or cannot do, where you can't or can't move, as it all is pretty clear on the board. Same thing with all the symbols on the board. Is really easy to understand, and you will quick have a good understanding on how the board works. The only thing I see as a downside here is that one player will see the board upside down, but it really doesn't matter, they will get a grip of the game anyway. There are 6 characters in this game that you can portray as, all with their own unique background story on the back of the board. They all have their unique base stats, but also unique starting decks. there you have it, people. That was Kingdoms Rise and Fall Dorian. A deck building game for 3 to 6 players coming out in Kickstarter pretty soon. This game I really like. If you like, I mean, you have kind of like a worker placement here. You move around your little characters, you send out your troops, you take over different bases, different star locations and make them your own. You put out your little marker there on the map to show that you own it and you will protect it with your life. There's a ton of replayability in this game. Like I said, you have a bunch of objectives, a bunch of events, so many different battle cards, and you can play this game for several rounds with different people or the same people, and will still be funny. Will still feel like a new game. I'm really excited to see the Kickstarter on this one. If you are too, check out the links down here in the description for this game, Kingdom Rise and Fall Dorian. There will be links to everything down there. And if you like this video, people, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment or something. Throw in a little bit of love about me. What did you think about the game? What do you think about the videos? What do you think about the Kickstarter? Will you check it out? Let me know. I love to interact with you. I'm on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Please go in and follow me there. I do a bunch of things on Instagram mostly. If you like this channel, people, please subscribe to it. It gives me a smile on my lips every time I get a new subscriber. And until next time, people, please keep on spreading that board gaming love I know you all have. Peace.